Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the Code Breakers. This is Paradox.
This is DC. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Man, I've been having some technical difficulties, man, but I'm glad that was out the way. And I am ready to rock, man. Like we got some news today, man. Got some real
Breaking
crazy
news.
news.
24. It's been 24 hours. What's the one? Is that 23 hours?
Word,
I think they announced it at 1 a.m.
word.
Oh,
So
no, no, no. Why did I do that? Oh, man. No, 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 no. I didn't do that,
what
did
happened?
I?
What happened? Are we live? Or we not live?
I'm glad I checked, too. Give me 1 second. Damn it. Private. I wish it would let you do it. I hated it.
Hmm?
Okay, I just changed it.
Oh, we're public now.
This is the Code Breaker. This is Paradox.
This is DC
We
doing
should be
introduction
live.
once again.
We should be. Can you just check to make sure we are live?
I'll
'Cause
check. Yes, sir.
it
Let me
changed, but I don't know if it's
let's see if we live.
if it took the program.
Let's see. Yeah, we live, man. We live, man. All the
Cool.
way live.
We are live.
Telling,
Okay.
telling you, man, technical difficulties, man. Been going through it myself, bro.
Okay.
Extreme technical difficulties. Extreme.
Well, yeah, Trump has COVID. I think they announced it at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We do politics, so we had to come back out. We was gonna probably wait a while to come back, but
Yeah, it's
uh,
too hot.
it
It's
was
too
itching.
hot.
It was itching on me. I was gonna like, look, I just got to put something out. We got to at least
Yeah.
something because
It's too
uh,
hot. I've been trying to get on a couple of programs myself, man. I'm having some technical difficulties, but I just say, you know what? Might as well get my server kind of cleaned up and shoot, we can go live here and kind of do our thing, man, and you know give give our synopsis on what's going to take place next, man. I'm trying to tell black people, man. It's looking like this administration it's a wrap. This is it. So that doesn't mean that your struggles stop black people. For the ones that are like in the whole Biden camp, and for those that are in the Trump camp, doesn't mean that you guys need to turn belligerent and turn on other black people because your particular candidate is not going to be in office for whatever reason, whether he takes ill for the worse, or whether he gets better and try to come back out and make a last run of it. But um, just my synopsis and my 30,000 feet view. It's a wrap for the Trump administration. I think people are pretty much done with the whole deal. And I got some tidbits
right out,
where
you just jump right out there on that one. See,
it don't got nothing to do with me. It ain't us. We don't control this.
let us at least let us build it up. So that's some
We
suspense.
build it up. We build it up.
Yeah, let's build in some suspense. Jeez.
Since I'm in the we played Biggie the last time. I got to go back to Biggie, man, and like I brought up Everyday Struggle, and I think that is apropos for right now. So go ahead and hit us with that day one time, man, before I go ahead and get into this Everyday Struggle and get this
Yeah.
thing cranking.
Well, we are late. Nat Turner's birthday, I think, was yesterday. Well, we got a little
Salute,
later than
salute.
that, but it is Saturday, October 3rd, 12:21 a.m. Eastern
October 3rd,
Standard Time.
2020. 2020. And the next 48 hours are going to be very, very unique, man. Hold on to your butts, like my man Samuel Jackson say. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into Biggie. One of my other songs that I used to go to called Everyday Struggle. Let's go ahead and get that thing cranking. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Right.
I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I know how it feel to wake up fucked up. Pockets broke as hell, another rock to sell. People look at you like you's the user, selling drugs to all the losers, mad Buddha abuser. But they don't know about the stress-filled day. Baby on the way, mad bills to pay. That's why you drink Tanqueray, so you can reminisce.
If you ever wanted to know what $21,000 looks like in a single month, this is what it looks like.
Just got a knock at the door and got a package in the mail.
And wish you wasn't living so devilish. Shit, I remember I was just like you, smoking blunts with my crew, flipping over 62s, cause GED wasn't B-I-G. I got P-A-I-D, that's why my mom hate me. She was forced to kick me out, no doubt. Then I figured out niggas went for 20 down south. Packed up my tools for my raw power moves. Block 19 for casket and flower moves. But Trump's trying to stop my flow, and what they don't know will show on the autopsy. Went to see Poppy to cop me a brick. Asked for such a sign and he wasn't trying to hear it. Smoking mad Newports cause I'm doing court for an assault that I caught in Bridgeport, New York. Catch me if you can like the gingerbread man. You better have your gat in hand, cause man, I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I had the master plan. I'm in the caravan on my way to Maryland with my man Two Tex to take over this project. They call him Two Tex. He told Two Tex. And when he start the bus, he like to ask who's next. I got my honey on the Amtrak with the crack in the crack of her ass. 2 pounds of hash in the stash. I wait for her to make some quick cash. I told her she could be lieutenant, bitch got gas. At last, I'm literally lounging black, sitting back, counting double-digit thousand stacks. Had to re-up to see what's up with my peeps. Toyota dealer gone, had it cheap on the Jeep. See who got smoked, what rumors were spread. Last I heard, I was dead with 6 to the head. Then I got the phone call, it couldn't hit me harder. We got infiltrated, like you know at the Carter. Heard Tech got murdered in the town I never heard of by some bitch named Alberta over nickel-plated burners. And my bitch, swear to God, she won't snitch. I told her when she hit the bricks, I make the hooker rich. Conspiracy, she'll be home in 3. Until then, I look out for the whole family. A true G, that's me, blowing like a bubble in the everyday struggle. I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I'm seeing body after body, and I'm Mayor Giuliani. Ain't trying to see no black man turn to John Gotti. My daughter use a potty, so she's older now. Educated street knowledge, I'm a molder now. Trick a little dough, buying young girls' fringes, dealing with the dope fiend binges, seeing syringes in the vein. Hard to explain how I maintain. The crack smoke make my brain feel so strange. Breaking days on the set, no sweat, drunk off my wet. Can't bag yet because it's still wet. But when I drive back at 5 at a time, I can clock about 9 on the check cashing line. I had the first and the third. Rehearsed, that's my word. Nick in the game, D's knew my first name. Should I quit shit? No. Even though they had me scared, yo, they got an 8, I got a check with air holes. And that's just how the shit go in the struggle, motherfucker.
Come on. What you say?
I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I don't wanna live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug and juggle, another day, another struggle. I don't wanna live no more. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug to juggle, another day, another struggle. Junior Mafia, ride.
Yo. DC, you on mute.
Man, I had the master plan. I'm in the caravan on my way to Maryland with my man 2 Tex to take over these projects. They call him 2 Tex. He told 2 Tex. And when he start to bust, he like to ask who's next. Man. Whew.
I
love
that.
That beat is a classic, man. And you know what's after that, though? Just me and my no rings and shit, just my main squeeze. Help me bag up my nickels. Yeah, man, that's the classic, man. That's the classic, man. That goes out to all you youngsters out there, man. Give it a listen, man. Biggie Smalls was that dude. For you guys that haven't been initiated, man, you know what I'm saying? For our generation, man, we need to do better passing on great music, man, that's out there. That is how you do it right now. That is how you do it.
That's true. I wanted to give him a little James Brown, man, but I was gonna wait till the next program. Yeah. Not for this program, no, it's not the one. But
you got a little feedback. It's like breathe like a breathing noise. Yeah, it's like kind of like it pitches.
Is it still doing it?
Yeah, like every time you get done talking, I guess it's picking up when you breathe at the end of it. And it's like kind of like it's like giving a little distortion at the end of the I mean we can rock with it, but I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay. I'll try to change out some stuff.
All right. So we are going to discuss our boy Donald Trump. So what is your thoughts on that, man? I mean, we had
he is being set up by the CIA. They have poisoned this man, set this man up to take power and put Nancy Pelosi. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it's so funny, right? I told you I think everybody in this country must got this text message where everybody's showing this. There's some message out there about a date, and somebody wrote something a few months ago saying that he was going to do this in October, and that's kind of floating around the internet right now. And that came out within some hours.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, oh God, I think that message probably went to 100 million people, man.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it's floating around so fast, but yeah. On a conspiracy tip, which I really haven't heard any good conspiracies, but I was making up my own.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say the globalists, the people who he's disrupting, the people who have big deals with China, big deals with India, big deals in the Middle East, just people who have really profited on globalization and they might have tried. Maybe they're trying to set them up. The deep state, FBI. We were talking about that earlier. Maybe they've been trying to get rid of him, and this is how powerful he might be. To where you release a virus, the whole thing, all orchestrated, just to get him out of office, because he's disrupting the money train. And helping out too many regular people.
So for us to really kind of give an explanation of what we're talking about here, just to kind of keep it within the box of being clear and trying to give clarity. um, there is a such thing called management, and there's another such thing as when you know that you have a bad leader. This is for anybody that's in power. The thing about Washington is that if you are a wild child, or if you a person that is don't work good with others, you are somebody that is um, don't know how the power moves, because you're dealing with um, very intelligent people. A lot of people that know how to maneuver and facilitate power at all times, and on all levels, all over the place, especially in Washington. It's very difficult if you are a person that is very quick on the trigger. Um, you are somebody that is very quick to anger. You are someone that will fire somebody for any kind of slight, regardless of whether it is minuscule or not. Not knowing when to maneuver can be detrimental to you and your health. So this is just for the audience, think of it from that context. You're dealing with someone that is used to having their way, and Washington can work that way, but you need the players around you to support you. You can't survive. You can't survive in Washington if you're going to play the game like checkers when it's really chess. And if you don't have your pawns in front of you, if you don't have your bishops maneuvering around you, a queen and a king cannot survive on a chessboard. Period. It's just not. You're not going to survive. Just think of it from that level. People are making moves all around you, and like I have seen it. People that don't even have kings and queens on the other side, if they can be it could be a rook and just take you out because you're reckless. They can make plans around you regardless of how it plays out. So your conspiracy theory as and I seen the actual Twitter message. Um Put it like that. People can be very predictable based off their temperament. Put it like that. just understand it from that level. That's why people say that people in leadership cannot be people that are quick to anger, because you'll make decisions that are rash, and you'll put everybody that's around you in jeopardy. And the thing is, even the people that's closest to you, they know that. They know you're reckless. That's why I was telling you, man, you got to check out that movie called The Kami Rule, man. Anybody that's out there, I would suggest it. If you watch that movie, even though it is fictionalized, but the personality of the man that's in the Oval Office shines through. You would get an idea of how he operates, even in the higher levels of power. So definitely. Um, did you have anything that you wanted to share? Any more conspiracy theories that you wanted to get into? I have an article that I wanted to kind of get out there, take a look at. I think it would be interesting before we can move forward.
So what, man?
Paradox. Do
Yeah.
you have
Can
any
you hear me?
other? Yeah, you're sounding like you're far away.
Worse? So it sounds worse, not better.
Um, it just sounds like you're not
Oh,
like it's
now I sound
hollow a
far
little bit.
away. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like a
So
little
it's
bit
worse
far
than it
away,
was.
kind
Right.
of like you're in a bathroom or something.
Jeez. Uh, no, I was just throwing some stuff out there just to be funny. You know, I was thinking through all
Now,
of the. I was thinking through all of the. Uh, because you can make an argument that because I was thinking just on the surface level that he this could work a couple of ways because that was just the funny part with the conspiracy stuff. But I think politically speaking, I think that it can, we can look at this a lot of ways, right? I think one way would be, okay, you have news cycles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got supporters, you have news cycles. And I feel like on some level, the cumulative effect of what you think might exist doesn't really exist. What I mean is that even though it's lots of contradictions, he hasn't worn mask in months. It's not even about the past. It's kind of about maybe the last, well, what you think, last couple of weeks, maybe. I think, anyway. That's one position you could take. And you could say, well, you know what? He gets, and this goes back to what we talked about before about how people talk a lot of people talk a lot of they talk a lot or they get activated, the media, whoever, right? And then this thing happens, and then you have to, on the left, you have to make strategic moves. So Obama comes out and says, I feel sorry for his family, et cetera, right? Biden, his wife comes out,
Yep.
they hit now they didn't have to do that because Trump ain't doing that, right? If it's the reverse, he's going in.
You see how weak he is?
Facts.
Sleepy Joe.
I told him don't wear a mask.
Couldn't
he
hold
got sick
up.
from wearing the mask.
No. He should have even did better. He should have took hydrochloroquine. Hydrochloroquine, I take that all the time. Iron, it keeps me strong.
Right.
Keeps me healthy.
So now Trump can do that because of his position, like you were saying. The position he's in, he could get away with that, right? And that's fine. So
facts.
Biden took the high road. Obama took the high road. There are some lefties out there that are doing dumb stuff with Twitter, and that's what they do anyway. Trying to hold their composure and not be excited that he could die or he might die, or hoping that he dies, et cetera, et cetera. But and Fox News isn't right now. Don't get it twisted. Now, I don't know if anyone watched Fox News today or watch any of the right wing Twitter feeds or any of the right wing outlets through YouTube or through not print media, but website. In any of the New York Times, not New York Times, but New York Post and some of the other websites. Have you seen any? Has anybody?
You breaking up now, bro?
I don't think anyone.
You broke up right there. Yeah, you broke up right then. Just right then. So just repeat what you just said, like maybe 15 seconds back. What were you saying?
Now, I was just saying that all the news articles, all the news people have made sure for the most part not to do anything just yet and to figure out how to, even Rachel Maddow is holding her composure and coming up with different. Now, on one hand, could you argue that is that a weak position, and should they go hard at Trump, or should they sort of just let this play itself out, let it sort of do what it's going to do, right? Which means that we're going to come out, we're going to just speak about the president because, but in my opinion, what I put it this way, and again, I don't want to say what they would do if they were Trump, but I think Trump's a great contrast on a very aggressive. Trump is running for president.
You breaking up again, bro. You breaking up again. You breaking up again. Yeah. Trump is definitely. That's fine. Trump is definitely a great contrast. One of the other things that I was thinking about is that the overall effect that hello, go ahead. Yeah, the overall effect that it's having on the Republican Party, man, is vicious. There seems to be, and this is just something that I've been thinking about for the longest time. There seems to be this.
Test.
Yeah, I got you. There seems to be this kind of malaise, this kind of smokescreen, where I was telling you that I think that he causes confusion that's never been seen before. because I think people think that when they see him, they're looking at they're looking at a Democrat, they're looking at a Republican. And you don't need to think of him like that. He is what you would call a hired hand for the Republican Party, or a useful tool, supposedly, that has went rogue. Somebody that they thought could be a useful idiot, and it backfired on everybody, basically. And the people that I'm speaking about in particular, are like the Mitch McConnells of the world, the Laura Ingrams, not the Laura Ingrams, but the Ingram, the senator out of South Carolina, the one that's having the issue with with the race that they're running out there now in South Carolina right now. It's just, which is very, very interesting because they did not.
You talking about Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham, exactly. Lindsey Graham, that's who I'm talking about. When they concocted this whole thought of maybe trying to ride with this and being able to think that they was going to have the gumption to be able to govern by proxy, it backfired. There's no controlling Richie Rich. You don't control this man. I have heard on very, very unique circumstances where he would just hang up on these people, literally, like in the middle of a of a call. Like if they're talking to him, Mr. President, I think we should do this. Click, literally in the discussion. Call you back and be like, you never tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. This is facts, people. Like this is a man that fired. Like, I don't know if people understand. And what I'm saying is the protocols in Washington, even if you're dealing with Republicans and Democrats, they have a certain way that they actually are used to governing. That's the reason why it's so it's nothing to see somebody that is across the aisle and may have an argument in the hall or at the House, in the White House, whatever, in the Capitol, and then they go out for lunch and drinks, on the town. You'll see them together, be like, didn't they just call each other names or whatever, whatnot, this whole theater? But it's all good that they're like working, and then they'll go and they'll chop it up, the next day or whatever. Trump doesn't give you that kind of feeling. It's very uneasy, and I'm speaking from. Let me not do that. Let me say this: with him being sick, right today. If you think that it was easy to get him to admit to being sick today, then you don't understand what you're looking at when you see Donald Trump. Donald Trump is somebody that they told to actually go to the hospital, and they had to force him to go. That is not something that he wanted to do. He don't want to display weakness at all. At all. His father, the way he is, the way he tries to display strength, it is a weakness of his. To come off like he doesn't earn any kind of justification of being so-called strong. The reason why he postures the way he does, he postulates. He sits still, chin up all the time. You remember when we first saw him when he met with China? You remember when he met with them and he was like the way he was, and he was honorary. He wouldn't shake nobody's hand until like the very end, and he looked at them kind of like looking down at them and stuff like that. Do you remember that? The whole fiasco of how he was acting. I think it was
I remember.
What conference was that? Was it the G? It's called the G something in Europe and whatever. They have all the leaders that come there, and he was acting a fool, man. Donald Trump cannot be controlled. Literally, he cannot be controlled. So even as much as they used him to represent the Republican Party, they should have understood, even through the whole primaries during the Republican end, that this is something that's going to be very, very, very dangerous. And they knew that he would not be able to govern through the Democratic way. So that was the only way that he was going to be able to ascend to the presidency, was through the Republican Party. And they were desperate, and they used him. So I have this article here, man. It kind of goes into the possibility of him having an elevated risk of having severe COVID. And I thought it was very, very interesting. So I wanted to kind of like share this with people just so we can kind of get it on record. You had anything before I get started? All right, cool. So just in case people can't see it, The name of the article, and it's from 538 website. Trump has an elevated risk of severe COVID-19, but it helps to be the president. President Trump has COVID-19. In some ways, that seems inevitable. The campaign trail is a high contact sport, and the president was cavalier about public health guidelines. But what comes next is anything but certain, and it depends on who the president is, not just what he does. Though Trump is in overall good health, according to his publicly released annual physicals, which is worth noting, only includes details at the discretion of the president's doctor, he has a few risk factors that increase the odds of a severe infection, hospitalization, and death. He is 74 years old, male, and obese, at 6'3" tall, and 244 pounds. His body mass index is 30.5, just over the line for the definition of obesity. While Trump doesn't have hypertension, his latest physical said his blood pressure is 121/79, which is considered elevated. But just how risky are these factors? Let's start with age. When it comes to COVID-19, the older you are, the more elevated your risk of severe illness, hospitalization, ventilation, and death. Underlying issues like high blood pressure and diabetes increase risk too, and are often associated with age. But the riskiest comorbidity is just how long you've been alive. Even when controlling for a huge number of comorbidities, age is still the most important predictor of death, said Mark Kirkpatrick, an infectious disease biologist at the University of California, Santa Cruz. This has been documented in a lot of studies over the last few months, but one of the most comprehensive was published in Nature in July. Researchers from Oxford and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine looked at the medical records of more than 17 million adult patients in the UK, some of whom tested positive for COVID-19 and some of whom did not, and found that the risk of death from COVID-19 increased with age, even when adjusting for all other risk factors. Patients aged 70 to 79 were 6.07 times more likely to die of COVID-19 than those 50 to 59, and patients over 80 were 20.6 times more likely to die compared to the 50-somethings. In the U.S., 8 out of 10 COVID-19 related deaths have been in adults aged 65 and older, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And patients aged 65 to 74 were 5 times more likely to be hospitalized and 90 times more likely to die from COVID-19 when compared to those aged 18 to 29. Why? Older people tend to have higher prevalence of underlying illnesses that we know increase risk, along with the declining immune responses. Being a man also puts Trump at a higher risk of adverse effects than the First Lady, who also tested positive for COVID-19. Again, multiple studies have documented the correlation between sex and more severe outcomes for a COVID-19 infection. Though the precise numbers vary, in the U.S., nearly 1.5 times more men than women in Trump's age cohort have died because of COVID-19. Part of this sex difference is still a mystery to researchers, but a new paper published last week in Science found that a genetic predisposition to certain immune responses was more prevalent in men, which could partially explain the gap. Lastly, we know that the president's weight also likely puts him at a greater risk of a severe or deadly bout of COVID-19. One meta-analysis of research published in August found that when compared to patients of a healthy weight, people with obesity who contracted COVID-19 were 113% more likely to be hospitalized, 74% more likely to be admitted to an ICU, and 48% more likely to die. The CDC has stated that obesity could triple the risk of hospitalization due to COVID-19, and similar to age, Obesity is one factor that can increase a person risk or of adverse effects independent of other factors, even young. Otherwise, healthy patients are at a greater risk of severe infection, hospitalization, and death if they're obese, according to Dr. Nitin Mohan, an infectious disease specialist at Western University in Canada. It's one of those risk factors that, regardless of age, it's a serious risk to have COVID, Mohan said. When the body goes through any kind of disease process, your immune system is taxed and it works quite hard. The healthier you are, the better chance you have. Though Trump is on the cusp of obesity, being overweight is a risk factor as well. So is his weight is still a concern, even if he's dropped a few pounds since his last physical. That said, there's at least some dispute among the scientific community about how big a role weight plays as a risk factor in COVID-19. A recent study of 88,747 veterans in the U.S. found obesity was not a statistically significant risk factor for death. But the president is, well, the president. And while his biology may be putting him in a riskier category, his social status is working in his favor. Being wealthy, white, and in possession of a college degree all make you less vulnerable to hospitalization for COVID-19. Why? Basically because of the way our economy works. Being a person of color or part of a lower socioeconomic class or not having a college degree, all of those things are associated with both a lack of access to healthcare, both after the COVID-19 diagnosis and throughout their earlier lives, and a higher likelihood of working in the severe industry or a similar field where exposure risk is high. And even though there hasn't been a lot of research into the differential outcomes between the kind of health care an average rich white man might get and the kind of health care available to Trump right now, his political status probably doesn't hurt. If anyone has better odds of surviving than any other 74-year-old with his characteristics, it's probably the president of the United States, said Andrew Asman, an infectious disease entomologist at Johns Hopkins University, right down the road here. Right now, the president reportedly has only mild symptoms, and we can assume he is under constant, high-quality medical care. Those are the things that could indicate a milder course of the disease, Asman said. And while comparing to his demographic cohort is far from crystal ball predictive of exactly how Trump will fare, it's our best indicator of the likelihood he could face more severe outcomes. Our best guess is the population average for people that look like him, Asman said, but we know that he is not the average person. So, thought that was very interesting, man. So, what was your first thoughts about the article?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
It was way too long.
No, I was reading slow, man, because I was fumbling over those big words, man. You know, sometimes, you know, my public school education shows up, man. So I apologize to the audience about that. But yeah, definitely.
But no, I think if you've been keeping up with everything, then yeah, it pretty much has hit on all the things that people mostly know. If you're not tracking, it definitely gives you some insight. But at the end of the day, he's old, and so I don't know how much of the virus he has in his system.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, like you said, he did not. I mean, the doctor said you need to go to the hospital. Said, you know, it doesn't matter what he said. When the doctor's telling you that you need to get on a helicopter,
yeah,
and go to the hospital. If I'm a Democrat, I can make that an issue because I'm only speaking politically. I can make that an issue.
Yeah.
So if they find out that he didn't really want to go, because I heard a teeny bit of that, but they didn't really touch on it. You hammered that, like you solidified that, but
they have to force him. Yeah.
When
that is something that I heard from inside. Definitely.
All right. When that leaks out, that'll be something they're going to run. So what's happening right now is that the experts are trying to figure out, because if you look at Fox, MSNBC, CNN, and if you're watching any of the online stuff, they're just trying to maintain right now because because the people who run the campaigns really have to figure out. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Joe Biden decided to suspend all his anti-Trump ads.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how long he's there for.
Yeah, the next 48 hours is going to tell us a lot. Really, he is in the what you call the unsafe zone, the danger zone, the real danger zone right now.
And so,
yeah,
what we have to worry about is it's a thing. Different things that happen. As a nation, you have to worry about national security, but as a political person, you're trying to figure out what's the best way to spin this, because Trump and them have already done a good job of pretty much hiding a lot of what they do.
Very much, yes, sir.
So they're not vulnerable. They can kind of try to control their narrative as much as possible. And so if he can get through it and we don't find out how bad it was, and then he can come out and kind of spin it a little bit, then I think he might be able to get some sympathy. He might be able to. I mean, we're right at the election, and they're going to run. I wanted to tell you. I wanted to tell you before this happened. I was like, tell everybody you know, turn to the 3 big cable networks that do news, right?
Yeah.
They were talking. They talk about Trump still. I'm like, hold up. MSNBC and CNN, at least MSNBC. When I turn to your channel, you should only be talking about Joe Biden. You got to stop talking about Trump, yo. You need to be talking about Joe Biden all day long. I turn to that channel every hour, and literally, it was Trump anyway.
It leads.
But
yeah, he is.
It's like, let Joe Biden breathe. Show me some Joe Biden, please.
He is gold for the lead, man. He is gold for the lead. You cannot, anything. You cannot shake that, man. He got that in spades, bro.
So now you have an excuse not to cover Joe Biden for sure. So they're going to run this. Look, what they're going to do is what they're going to do is what they do when it's like a natural disaster. Everybody's in Bethesda right now, our home area. Everybody's in Bethesda right now, right? And they're going to leave them cameras there for 14 days straight.
Yep.
They're not going to talk about nothing.
2 days, over the weekend. No, Saturday and Sunday. Oh my God, man.
Besides
Sunday, either Sunday he shows back up again, right? Or because he's not going to allow. See, this is what people got to understand. When you have a man that's this narcissistic, right? There's certain things you got to understand. If he can help it, he's going to try to show up tomorrow. If he can do it, he's going to try to get on the Twitter. He's going to try to show his face. Even when he did the video, they didn't want him to do it because he can look weak. You can see he looks sick. Yeah, he looks sick. You can tell he's breathing. He knew. Yeah, they're gonna force me to go to the hospital. Hey, before I go, let me do a video. I need to talk to the people. The people love me. They love me. I mean, you want to talk about self affirmation or when the emperor doesn't have any clothes. This is a perfect example. Anybody that knows about the psychology of somebody that's so used to power that they can't stand to hear any kind of criticism, that's what you're looking at. Like there is an issue with that, and people that want to support this man and that want to do the best for him, that want to keep him in office, that want to keep him in line to the presidency, is begging him, look, man, it's a chance that you have spread this. We have a full outbreak at the White House, which should never happen. That's what I'm saying. That should never happen because here's what you got to understand. And you may be going too far with this, but here's what you got to understand. If that happens, then it's not just him that's an issue, because you got people that their body's going to react different to this disease. Literally,
you cannot have
crazy, man.
What do you call
this? Is crazy.
It's like germ warfare, though. You cannot have.
That's what I'm saying. This is a national,
in the White House.
Exactly. This is never supposed to happen.
And then trying to figure out, who's running the government? Because I'm gonna tell you,
the fact that they have allowed this man to not even follow general safety protocols. You can see when Dr. Fauci used to look at him and just be like, Lord have mercy, like this cannot be life. Like I can't
But
do
the
this.
first question we have to ask ourselves is, the first question that has to be asked. I'm not hearing it. I don't think I'm hearing it yet, which is Donald Trump being tested for the coronavirus multiple times a day, or have y'all been lying the whole time?
Right.
That is the first question.
Right.
Because I don't, he's who he is. It's whatever. It's typical white male stuff to me, but that's nothing to really to turn up on. It's how they are. But anyway, are they being tested? Is his staff being tested? That's what they need to find out. And because what does that do to the White House and to the executive branch? Because they're really not being tested. They haven't been tested.
Right.
And can you, as a Democrat, spin that in a way to push people to get out to vote and to say that he's incompetent? They're not yet doing that. I don't know why. I would be on that today. I wouldn't give him no breathing room on that. I would be on incompetence. I'm sorry it happened to him, but this is incompetence. We don't. What somebody should be saying right now on the Democratic side is that we don't have a president. How do you take advantage of this? We don't have a president. Is Nancy Pelosi the president? What's the list? What's the list of secession?
All right, so let me give you the quick rundown on that before I want to show this clip of the comedy rule, but just to kind of give people an illustration.
I think four of them on that list got coronavirus right now.
Yeah, so here's the present line of secession. Okay, if the president dies or can no longer fulfill his duties as president, of course, Mike Pence ascends to the presidency.
Yep.
Being that he is going to become the president, if everything goes well, not unless there's some kind of Senate issue, but I don't think there will be, because Mitch McConnell is the person that's on, that's basically running the Senate right now, primarily, because once he ascends, then he takes over. Mm-hmm. If anything happens to Mike Pence, the next in line, the way it works is the Speaker of the House. Now, we all know who the Speaker of the House is. That's Nancy Pelosi. She's the only Democrat that will be in the line of secession, and she's second in the line of secession. After that, which this country would be split. It would be an issue. There will be all kinds of hearings. There would be chaos. There would be chaos in Washington, man. Literally, there would be chaos in Washington. Okay. So then the next in secession is the president pro tempore of the Senate, and that's Chuck Grassley.
Yeah, Chuck Grassley, right?
Yep. But then you got the Secretary of State, then the Secretary of Treasury, but we're going too far. But yeah, the Secretary of State, which is Mike Pompeo, and all those are Republican guys. So I would imagine that probably Mike Pompeo, would probably be the choice that Mike Pence would choose as his VP. He's one of those type of politicians that is straight lace. I think he was the director of the Central Intelligence Agency also for a while. I know a lot of people don't really know who he is, but he's a blue blood. He's been he's a very powerful politician in Washington. Very, very powerful. So he would ascend. He's the second.
I don't know how many other people. I think 4 cabinet members got the virus, or 5. Kellyanne Conway.
Kellyanne Conway has it.
Hours ago.
What's the other? Let me. There's a whole list.
I know she quit and went, and she's gone now. She quit and went home or whatever. But
yeah, she's still around.
We was at that Rose Garden event.
Yeah, she was still around. Yeah. So the confirmed people that actually has the virus that are like the major players. Now, this is not the full 13. I think it's what we said, but 13 to 14 people.
Something like that.
That's connected to the White House that actually is positive. That's a full outbreak, a full blown outbreak. That is yeah, that's not supposed to happen. So of course you got Donald Trump, you got Melania. Most likely their kids probably have it also, the children. Senator Mike Lee, they're gonna probably try to keep that under wraps.
Yeah, Mike Lee. Yeah. As much
as he kisses, as much as he kisses his own daughter. What's her name? Ivanka? Is it Ivanka? As much as he kisses her, probably kisses her good night every time she's there around him. She probably has it herself. Senator Thorne Tillis, he has it. The RNC chair, Ronna McDaniel, he has it. He's positive. The White House advisor, Hope Hicks, she has it.
And yeah, they
So,
tried to blame. You know, they tried to blame Hope early on. She hot too. They tried to blame her for it.
that ain't her fault, bro.
She came out and said, "Look, I do not." She didn't say that,
And,
but basically, it's not. I didn't. I
and
don't know. I didn't do anything.
look, man, think about it. The
You
first
think it's
time they got away, think about it. They was playing with fire when they did the Republican convention, and he was shaking hands. I mean, look, man.
7 months. But I'm asking you though, do you think this is a coup? Is it a coup?
I wouldn't go that far. Give me 24 to 48 hours to see the lay of the land.
So you think if I'm gonna tell you something right now,
about 24 to 48 hours. Definitely, I can give a clear view.
We do not hear from Trump in the next 2 days. That means that he's too sick to tweet.
Yeah, it's trouble. Yeah, there's trouble. It's serious trouble, and you're going to see the Republicans scrambling because they wasn't ready. They was going to be prepared for the secession of power, possibly being moved over. They probably had some things in the play and making power moves. You know,
these clowns are still trying to put a damn. They still trying to put a judge in play. Like, yo, freak.
Exactly.
What are y'all doing?
Exactly.
This is a huge deal. You had somebody on Fox News said, "Well, you had one of the young senators, and you had Hannity saying, well, it's not that big of a deal." I'm like, our president is no longer in office right now. Not a big deal. What are you talking about?
I don't know if people understand. The president of the United States is now, because he's not actually in duty and he's not actually operational right now, is Mike Pence. Mike Pence is the actual president of the United States right now.
Even though he hasn't signed off on it yet. He hasn't signed that. I forget the name of the document.
No, I'm saying actively, whoever they're going to make decisions, he's making them right now.
Because they said Trump is in his office at Walter Reed.
Yep, that's true.
I need to see a picture. Give me something. Give me a video. Give me something though.
Man,
he's at his office at Walter Reed Hospital. Okay, yeah.
By football Sunday, we should know. By football Sunday, we should know. Good around like 9. I mean, they're gonna monitor him real seriously here around Saturday. So may not be seen on Saturday, or he may be, but we'll see.
With his diet and his diet,
he's at risk.
And if he gets really sick, I would be impressed that they keep him alive. Though I won't lie, I would be impressed just because of how bad of a diet he has. I'd be like, wow, he actually
don't listen, man.
Yeah, you know what? I will say this though. It was a great calculated risk. I will say that. He almost made it.
He almost made it.
He
almost made it, man. He didn't even have to do much, man, he literally didn't have to do much to actually win this with a landslide. Even though I thought he was going to lose anyway, he didn't have to do much to remain in office. But it's just narcissistic people of this magnitude that's in office, and you don't know how to run the political game. It's detrimental. It is very detrimental. So I do want to play this clip of the commie rule to kind of give you guys an idea of how President Trump is. So this is from the book, The Commie Rule. Now this is just basically taken out of the book. So this is something that is documented by James Comey. And everybody that knows who this man is, which is the former director of the FBI, he is straight-laced, straight down the line, as much as you can get. And he doesn't embellish or tell fantastical stories. So this is him having dinner with President Trump, which is totally not supposed to happen between the FBI director and the acting president. It always compromises the rule of law when it's like that, just in case you have to be investigated. But this is the dinner that he had with President Trump when he first met him. You ready? Is it up already? Or no? Maybe it's not up. I want to make sure that thing pop up, man. Give people something to look at. Check it out. Fair use, man. Fair use. This is something that we're using to educate the masses, man. You know, us black folk, man. We ain't talking about nothing over here anyway. Let us have our fun. When I tell you the man got his own money, I'm telling you the man got his own money.
That's not as good as the deposition I got on him, by the way.
Oh no. It's that's what I'm saying. This is not even, the book goes into so much detail. Like it's not even, it's mind blowing, literally mind blowing. Like some of the stuff that I seen, just some of the stuff that he would actually say. Like I said, hanging up on people. Like people will call him and want to talk to the president. He would just be like, "No, I'm not talking to you. I call you and tell you what to do. You don't talk to me and ask me nothing. When I want to see you, I see you. You understand?" It's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. No protocol, no control. Yeah, they misfired on this one, bro. And you know, it is what it is, man. The country is where it's at, man. It is what it is. Now, I mean, you could look at it, you know, like you said, a variety of ways. You want to kind of say what we was talking about in the background when we was talking about what you should want if you know, if any of these things play out.
What do you mean?
You remember we
As
was
far
talking.
as far as them being elected, as far as them being reelected?
Yeah. Well, you just think it's just not even worth all talking on that one.
What do you mean? I don't understand. I'm lost.
You know, when we was talking, right? We was talking about President Trump and how useful it is for him to be in the position that he's in.
Oh,
if
no,
you want
I'm not gonna talk about that now.
Okay. All right. So we will leave that. We'll leave that to the outer rim. We'll leave that there.
I want to stay focused on him being sick. Oh no. Looking at what are the options as far as like, are we gonna have Mike Pence running things? Is he gonna go into a coma? Matter of fact, is he gonna come out miraculously in a couple of days and say, "Hey guys, hey man, that virus that's nothing. It's like a cold."
He may do it. It's gonna be either way, man. This is throwing everybody for such a loop. Either way, man, it's all gold. It's all gold, man.
But I think you get a chance to see, if you're in the politics, you get a chance to sort of get a little bit of insight on watching how fast his staff, his political staff are going to have to come up with something. You know, you're going to have to get a chance to sort of watch how the people who support him, like all the way, lock, stock, you got to see how they respond to try to hold up the image of, because I'm going to tell you, I wonder to myself, and I'm not sure we're going to get a chance to see it. I want to see how the average supporter in, say, Indiana or Idaho or Florida, you know, how do they feel? You know, where are they at? Are they just kind of holding back and waiting like you are for a couple of days? Are they thinking like, what are we going to do? Or are they thinking, oh man, the Democrats are going to run roughshod over us and are just going to say, we told you he was irresponsible. We told you, and just beat him down with that. Like, I mean, just bludgeon him for the next, because I mean, it's not that much time for him to really. I put it this way: he could play it a couple of ways, right? He could say if he's sick for the whole time, he could say, you know, I was wrong. He's not going to do this, obviously.
No, he's not going to do that.
I was wrong. You know,
that doesn't even come out. That doesn't even come. That's not in his language, man. It's impossible. When has he ever said that he was wrong about anything? He doesn't do it.
I understand. I'm just creating scenarios. So he may come out and say, you know, I felt like in his own way, it's a very serious thing. I already told y'all it was very serious. And, you know, he could try to be, is it sympathetic? Sympathetic, right? He can come off and try to play a more somber Trump
Right.
version for a few days to
Right.
try to say, it I'm not saying I don't think he can do it. He can maintain himself enough to try to hold himself in more of a somber, I made it through, thanks for the support, and really not go at Biden, but actually kind of stay in a sympathetic position, if that makes any sense. I'm an older man. I
Right.
made it through. Thank God. I was praying to God every night. Let me not say he would say sorry. That's not. Let me not say it that way, because he definitely wouldn't say the word sorry. That'd be almost impossible. But probably more in reality, he could probably just play sympathy, right? He could probably come out and say, "Man, I made it through. Thank you for the support." Because if he lives through it, I feel like they can spin that enough to where his supporters, he would do a rally when he gets out. That would be the biggest he's ever done.
It would be huge.
If
It
that
would
makes
be. It would be absolutely huge.
it would be ridiculous.
It would be crazy, man.
You have Laura Ingraham on Fox News getting ready to cry
Stadium
today.
status. Stadium status, man. I'm talking about Big Brother. My
Exactly.
big brother was Big's brother.
Right. He'll
I'm
call
talking
up. He'll
stadium
call up your
status.
boy. He'll call up your boy
It'd be
down in
crazy.
Dallas, Texas, and
It'd
say,
be
"Hey,
crazy.
can I borrow
Oh,
the stadium
woo.
for
Can
a
you
day
imagine? Can you
down
imagine?
in Jerry's world?" Right.
You knew how I knew he was in trouble? Jerry Jones was worried, bro.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones was worried. That's how I knew. That's how I knew, because I know that they talk pretty much. You talking about somebody that probably talks to Trump weekly, man.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
At
Him
least,
and
at least
well,
once or twice a week.
both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Kraft.
Yeah.
They talk all the time.
Absolutely. And I think he's more affiliated with because those are his contemporaries. But really, I think he's really, really connected to Jerry Jones, like literally, because they're both into business, and they're known for making shrewd deals. Yeah. Absolutely. By any means, believe it or not.
So,
But I got another clip here that's part of the commie rule. I'm gonna use. This is gonna be the last one, but this is this is the one I was telling you about, where he just went in on the director that filled in for James Comey, Andrew McCabe replaced him for the short time, and he just how he went in on him. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying he was the assistant director.
He was a deputy, the deputy director, right under James. Say what?
I thought he liked him at first, and he turned on him.
He turned on him, yeah. So this is a phone
did they show my boy down there from Mississippi? I know they had to show him when he recused himself.
You talking about Jeff Sessions?
Yeah, I know Sessions.
I don't think they showed that in the movie. They may have. I don't think they showed. Yeah, Jeff was in there, but he wasn't in there like that. It was strictly about. It was really the FBI and Trump. Those are the major players in the movie, and that whole relationship really is mainly about James Comey, really, and his whole.
Man, I'm so sick of Comey, man. Getting it. He needs to go away. He's
going to go away. I think this is just his referendum on his. Well,
one thing he says he's a straight-laced guy, but really he's a hustler selling his book. He's full of it, man.
All of them are hustlers, man. All of them are hustlers. I'm just saying about. I'm talking about trying.
Comey tried to above the fray.
He documented it.
I understand. I follow it.
Everything, outside of Donald knowing what he was doing.
Yes, I followed it very closely. I watched all the depositions, all the hearings. They just did another one.
Yeah.
And my point is that Comey tries to come off as a certain type of person. But at the end of the day, because I'm going to tell you, man, and this is not anybody in particular, but them lights and that attention and you being on the late night shows and stuff, you feel it, man. You start to feel good.
It's addictive.
And I'm looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? You're supposed to be this pent up, serious guy, and you out here slanging books.
Yeah.
So Washington.
Slanging products. Yeah.
So Washington, though. It's so Washington.
Selling your story, yeah, it changes you, man. It's like going to Hollywood. This is like
Now
Hollywood for
now
politicians.
you got a movie. I mean, come on, get
Yeah,
go.
this is like Hollywood for politicians, man. The private sector is not really. I know when people said it's private sector. The private sector is never the private sector. It's just third party government job. That's all it is. You still working for the government. It's just third party. That's all it is. You're just an outside contractor. You're just not directly reporting under anybody that's in office, but you're still working technically for the government. And you still got your security. Well, that's neither here nor there. Let me not do that. But yo, let me let's play this clip real quick, man. It's called I Authorized It, but I thought it was. I just thought the ending is so Trump, man. It's so Trump. just to give people an idea of how. And they said this is light. He went harder than this on people, but this I just thought it was interesting. Just checking this out. So you got it up already or no?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let me know if you can't hear it. That Bama said, ask her how it feels to be a loser. I just know this man said that. Oh my God, yo. It's crazy. That's wild, man. Anyway, Donald J. Trump, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Everybody love it. Everybody love it. Yeah, man. Anyway, I think that, what's interesting, man. Another thing that I was thinking about is if he really is sick, right? If after this 24-hour, 48-hour health scare, whatever, fingers crossed and things of that nature, if he really is sick, what do you think they do about the Supreme Court justice? Do you think they still try to push it through, or you think they just that has to go on hold now?
I think Mitch McConnell does not care about Donald Trump, and they're gonna.
He don't. He
care about him
absolutely
in
don't.
the hospital. He good.
Absolutely
Hey,
don't.
look, because only thing they needed him to do is do the nominee. We are ready to rock and roll. And by the way, they made sure that happened before he got the virus.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
So yeah, she will be. They would be good to go on that, because I'm gonna tell you one thing about the Republicans, man, they cold.
Absolutely.
And
yeah,
so
they like the sift. Yeah, it's
right. So the thing is that they'll say stuff like, "Look, man, people get the virus. It happens, The president, like everybody else, you get sick, But we're not gonna stop the world because he's sick. We're gonna keep it moving. This is how it works. Next man up. They're like football players. next man up.
Exactly.
So that's what I've heard so far. That's today. We will see. Will some of the compassionate conservatives, I don't think there's any left, will come out and say, maybe we need to just sit tight for a moment, and kind of figure things out, because I think you don't want to show panic. This is a global empire. You're dealing with all people around the world. Obviously, are calling, and people have been sending wishes out, obviously from all over the world. But militarily, what do we look like right now? So we got to do that. Is anyone trying to make any moves? So I know that things are on alert. They're on alert. So I mean, and I know that they're gonna have to make sure that it appears that the government is still operating correctly. Perception, I think, is very important. And so this is not the first crisis, obviously. So we'll see. Like you said, we're just we want to do a program real quick just to get it on the record. We're it's real time right now, and again, the news media, and that's one thing. Again, it shows how they fail. And I have to go basically on the internet and just find what I can find, because the national media is too busy trying to figure out how to, they a little bit of sympathy and then sort of talk about the virus and who got the virus. Who cares? I want to find out are we good? Country good. What's going on around the world? Like, is everything operating correctly? What is our position? So I would love to get a little bit more of that information. But again, like you said, it's early. You give it a couple of days, and maybe we'll hear more global information. I think to
Yeah,
make sure.
either way, it's going to be a storyline up to the election. Whether he comes out of this golden and comes out
Yeah, of course.
smiling, waving, it's going to still be part of the storyline. Even if he decides to be like, I'm just going to go full blast, I'm still going out there because I think I can still pull some people in to win this deal at the
Well,
last minute. So I'm going to still go hard and do what I got to do. Or if he's basically bedridden and still trying to govern that way, it's going to be interesting either way it goes.
well, the virus has been normalized, so he'll be fine. If he lives through this, it'll be fine. It won't even be that
Right.
big, honestly, because people have already accepted the virus. People
Right.
have died. We've gotten used to the
People have
virus,
died.
unfortunately. And so him coming out from
Yeah,
a
I
Republican
see.
perspective is really just, thank God, President, we was praying for you. You made it through. It won't be we told you so. That's not gonna the right isn't going, unless he dies, the right isn't going to like jump ship, obviously.
Hold on, check this out. They got a tweet, man. I'm not going to even read who it's from, but this is a white man. Let me put it like that. A popular white man. He wrote Herman Cain to Donald Trump. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
They cold. They cold.
Herman Cain to Donald Trump. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
They cold with it, man.
That's crazy, man. Hashtag COVID caught Trump. Hashtag Trump has COVID. Hashtag Trump COVID.
Yeah.
Hashtag Trump lied. 200K died. It's just politics, man. No friends, man. No friends. No permanent enemies. Just permanent enemies, bro.
So I think that he'll be able to, like I said, and you make a good point too, because now when Boris, he's about 20 years younger than Trump. When he got sick, he is the prime minister of England. When he got sick, he's still dealing with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be, and he's hard headed, so they're going to probably tell him you need to sit down and you need to still kind of take it easy because they don't want him to just be up and moving around and doing things. And depending on how good he feels, if he makes it through these 24 to 48 hours, he may get up and try to push it, and then he could take sick and get back. He
needs to pray. He needs to pray. He should be on his knees praying that it's going to be a very mild case. Because if he gets sick on any level, what he has to understand is that the people that I've been watching and monitoring and discussing and seeing articles written about, many people are saying that they're not normal yet. Like they're basically living with the disease. That unfortunately, it's one of those type of diseases, and so that's why I keep telling people, stop talking about the deaths. You don't want to get sick. Forget the dying part. You don't want to get sick from this because
it's be with you. It's going to remain.
Unfortunately, depending on how much of the virus that you get and how your immune system,
it attacks your nervous system too. Yeah, your nervous system is out of whack. Your immune system is out of control. So yeah, it hampers you in more ways than one. Even if you do come out with,
I will say this,
or whatever.
I think I will say this. It won't change him, but if he has to live with something, I will be curious to see how he moves. I can't predict that, because when you get sick, you lose something.
Yeah, it's
it could make you worse. It make you more extreme, right? It could make you more extreme. It could make you more erratic, right? Make you more desperate. Or it could humble you, right? It could make you see things differently. I can't predict that. I honestly don't know, because when you're getting hit like that, something can change in you that at a chemical level, at a brain level. So like I said, I would have to wait and see how that's going to play out. In the next, we'll say, month or two. But we got 30.
These people.
30 days.
These people. Yeah, it's exactly 30 days now. So we're in the end game. We're in the end game now. Yeah, it's like 30 days. So it's October the 3rd, right? Yeah, we're in the end game. So it's November the 3rd. That's D-Day. Not unless they postpone it. And if they postpone it, that's going to be,
Postpone the election?
yeah,
Uh, that's interesting.
yeah.
I didn't think that far yet. You mean if he stays sick that long, right? He goes
Yeah,
past the 14. He's
yeah,
actually sick.
yeah.
Uh,
Like he's bedridden or whatever. He can make it, but he has to be
I think they would have to postpone it too, right? I think you have to be sick.
They can stretch it out to December. And then they could do they could just run it back.
Hold up. We gotta find out, right? Because if he's too sick, he won't be president anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say the next 24 to 48 hours to kind of get a good diagnosis of how far along he is and how his body is going to respond. Because now they're looking at the response time now.
But let's just say
that's why he didn't want to go to the hospital. He'd rather just drop dead somewhere, knowing him.
What's that scenario though? If Trump signs the paperwork and
he's not going to do that, bro.
And Pence, hypothetically speaking,
yeah, he has to relinquish. He has to admit that he's physically unable to uphold the office.
Right. If he can't, they can override that as well. But anyway,
yeah, but he has to be out of his faculties for them to override it. Yeah, he has to be like down in bed.
Hypothetical. That's happening. My point is that if Pence becomes president,
right,
will the election exist?
It's still postponed. Most likely, they would still have to postpone it. I would imagine they could still try to, but it's going to be very difficult because he's going to be put into position where he's now the running mate. I mean, not the running mate. He's now primary. I'm sorry. He's in for the presidency most likely. So the only time that this came close to actually happening in a real sense when Kennedy died, because that was going into an election year too.
Right.
In 63. So you're talking about in 64 was the election time period, but he didn't make it to that time period. But he died so early in that year that it was still enough for them to kind of have Lyndon B. Johnson as a president, acting president up until the time that he got elected in 1964 and then into the 1968. So technically he had 5.5 years in office, basically.
It's up to Congress to decide how long they will wait.
Yeah, I mean, Congress can there is a provision where they can pull, with this unique circumstances, they can go into the annals and say, we need to decide and, decide on how we're going to do this, reestablish candidates and all of that, if they want to push it that far, because of the unique circumstances, because this is very unique. This close, we're talking about 30 days, Paradox. 30 days, bro. We're in the middle of an election. This is crazy, where the transfer of power was going to take place. Like, this happened 30 days too soon, literally. And like I said, this is not supposed to happen. There's too much at stake. And then not just that, being the fact that they have allowed this man to walk around with no mask on, hold rallies, nobody wearing masks. When he did the whole speech out there at the Rose Garden at the White House, everybody sitting next to each other, nobody really wearing masks, only a couple of people. That is unheard. That is a national security risk. That is insane. That's insanity, bro.
They've been saying that for 7 months.
That's what I'm saying. That's insanity. That's insanity, man. Bottom line.
Take one slip up. One slip.
Man.
I told you he was so close, man. 30 days. That's all you had to do was just ride this thing out.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a very, very, very unique situation, man. Do you want to continue to kind of like go through some more things, or do you want to kind of like open it up for like 30 minutes, see if some people want to come up and talk to us, or are you ready to rock out? And it's up to you, bro.
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right.
We can come back. We can come back because we don't have enough action. Well, in my opinion, there's not enough action yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think we probably need 3 days to see the next phase. I think that's where the conversation is going to be.
Right.
the next
Right.
3 days, and then what that looks like, and then maybe another. Then you can start to time it out a little bit because Joe is going to keep running for president. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He has to start, and I'm assuming
Yeah,
everybody's going to start calling their lawyers at this point.
he sees it's Joe is like a dude now. You know how you can see coverage and you can see like the ball is in the air and you wide open. The ball in the air now, you wide open. All you need to do now is just catch that joint and just run to the end zone. Now you can still drop it. There could be a lot of things that can happen. You can get to the goal line, you can fumble, whatever the case may be.
Too early, like your boy.
Oh yeah,
Ball
it
knocked
can
out.
happen. There's a whole lot that could still happen. The ball in there, he wide open, ball in the air. Yeah, that ball is in the air. You see it.
So far he's playing that pretty okay, but he's gonna have to get advice. If we just say hypothetically Trump doesn't get super sick, but gets sick enough, he's out for say 2 weeks.
Because I'm gonna tell you, Biden can't afford to get sick. That's probably why he was in the bunker so much. That's why he stayed hidden so long. Because if he gets sick, he is at extreme risk. He got mental issues going on. He got nervous system issues going on. He got other health issues going on. He's at a high risk.
Well, hopefully he's smart enough not to do another.
Yeah, he's listening. Man. He's doing what he got to do.
Right. He should not do another campaign. No, another debate.
Yeah, it's not
debate. Nope, no debate.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do another debate now. You know what? Let me not say that because they said this is the first. So the next debate was going to be the vice president. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna probably postpone that because that's next week. Yeah, that's October the 11th, October the 12th. So that's.
Well, you know what? This is the vice president. They should try to zoom out to see what that looks like with the vice president.
Right.
Then, if it looks good, the ratings look good, people respond to it. Then Trump and in 15 days, Trump and Biden can do it on Zoom.
Can you imagine the first question about COVID? And Mr. President,
it ain't gonna be no other questions but that. They're not talking about security.
What do you think now that it's actually didn't hit home and you have basically suffered? Do you feel differently about and just seeing his
talk about nothing else? It won't be any discussions about global politics or nothing building a wall. They're gonna talk about one thing. That entire debate is gonna be linked to one thing, and it's gonna be COVID.
Because the only thing
literally in one mistake that he made.
The main reason why he's so vulnerable is the disease that he has right now. That's the main reason.
The argument was going to be the COVID thing was already suppressed. It was going to be about the economy. Yeah. It was going to be about Joe Biden. He had a whole good list of 2 or 3 things that sort of took the COVID thing and kind of tamped it down to a degree. It just made it one of an issue, not the main issue. And this dummy to let this thing. This is it. Mm-hmm. We back to a COVID election again. We're right back to the COVID election. I'm like, wow, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it this far because I figured, after a while you get used to it, and you end up starting to make other issues. So it becomes Black Lives Matter. It becomes the Portland riots. It becomes that type. That's what the big issues were.
Right.
The shooting of cops, law and order, etc. So, for him to allow it to be a COVID thing again. I'm like, okay, man, you're messing up my numbers, right? I got numbers, man. You messing up outside. We got to redo the math.
We're gonna redo it, man. It's gonna be interesting. I hope he's okay, and I hope he get a boost from this, and I hope that he can come out strong and do some do a little bit of some recovery and kind of get his cells back in because. I want this to be no excuses because it could be a built-in. So
it's going to be very. My point is that it's going to be very delicate for Biden because if you go too hard,
yes, yeah, he has to play. He has to get the advice. He has to be. His campaign got to work extra hard. They got to go all scenarios. They got to go all scenarios 2 weeks
Right.
he's out. What do we do? How everybody's going to play it? If he's out for up until Thursday or Friday or whatever next week, that's running into the VP debate. Like I said, the next 24 to 40 hours is going to tell us a lot.
Answer this question.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, he's sick for 4 or 5 days. What super PAC on the Democratic side is going to run ads to say Trump's irresponsible while he's sick?
That's a
You
good
think
question.
it's going to happen? Is it going to happen?
It's going to be a third party. It has to be somebody outside of the
A super PAC. A super PAC. Not affiliated with Joe Biden, but in certain swing states,
it can't be a super.
Are they going to run?
No.
Are they going to run ads? Somebody's going to say, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just roll.
No.
They're going to run an ad. No COVID ads is what you're saying. No COVID.
What they would do is talk about how responsible Biden is, but they won't bring Trump up. They'll do a slick thing like that.
You think they show the image of Biden?
Yeah, one politician is taking the actual pandemic serious, and the other isn't. And then have a sick bed. Have a sick bed somewhere and just show. Because I mean, you can't go directly hard in on this. I don't even know if they'll go that far, but
Trump is open. He is open to get hit on so many levels because as a political strategist, right? He literally is butt naked right now. Yeah. I can hit him.
The emperor has no clothes.
Talking about the school, you talking about the schools not being open. It really is your fault. I mean, you could just blast him all over the place.
All over the place, man. Like I said, the only reason why he's so vulnerable right now is how he handled the actual pandemic. That's the only reason why he's at risk of losing this thing outright anyway. So
they did a good job though for the 7 months to cover and tamp down and bring energy. Is my whole point. They spent a lot of money.
Yeah, the propaganda part of it. Yeah, no doubt.
Down. I mean, they spent tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, putting out the fire. Yeah,
right. And to discredit the CDC, to discredit Fauci.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of the Fauci. I'm not a fan of all that stuff. I don't like them and vaccines, and that's a whole other conversation. So
anybody that's interested in seeing what our responses was earlier, I think we was pretty consistent. We was pretty consistent on how this thing was going to turn out. And I think we was very much on board and knowing that this was a possibility. Like, just check back in the annals. You could check us when this thing first came out. I think the name of the episode is COVID-19, the day that the earth stood still, when this really became a thing. And we was just like how we are now, trying to share with the people, man. We're just trying to give you a little bit more of an insider's view, since we are in HQ. That's what we call this area.
And we're not going down that rabbit hole of COVID either. We're just keeping it where it's at.
Yeah, we know me and you. I mean, I don't know if it's okay to say that. Me and you both have lost family members to this disease. I know it's real. It's real. There's no doubt about it. It's been real. Like when we first came on, we said it was very serious. It's very serious now. So now everybody sees it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's very serious.
Yeah, because again, the other big thing was what? If you wear a mask, you're a Democrat. If you don't wear a mask, you're a Republican.
Or no, you not only are you a Republican, you're a full-fledged American. You're a real American.
Right, you're a full-fledged real American, and you just talking about
shit.
Just Bama
shit, man. Just straight Bama shit, yo. It's just amazing that.
And by the way,
propaganda runs this country, not politics, not policy. Propaganda runs this country.
What's so weird is that Trump.
That's why advertising is so important.
Trump was very smart. He didn't get sick. What did he start talking about the last couple of months? Well, you know what? I got a vaccine coming. Probably going to be here before the election.
And people believe that's.
He's been teasing that, by the way.
That he could actually say that and just get away. That is amazing.
So now someone's going to say Trump
not even close
to get the vaccine before the election. He's going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, like I said though, if he's really sick, if he really got the virus and it's not a hoax,
right?
And he gets better very quickly, I'm gonna tell you, he could use that though and say, well, you know what? I took this experimental cocktail of antibodies, not antibodies of
chloroquine.
not that they have a treatment right now. It's an experimental treatment. It's
Yeah.
a cocktail of, I don't think it's it may be antibodies actually, if I'm not mistaken. Either antibodies or what's the other thing that you when you get steroids and stuff. What is the stuff called? I can't think of it right now. When they try to, anyway, they got a cocktail of something for him that's experimental that they're giving him. So he could spend that, say, we took this great drug. It fixed me. We're fine. We're going to have this drug ready for everybody else in the country. It's going to be great. The virus is not a threat. I mean, like, so he still has a window. That's all I'm saying. Still has a window. But I won't lie to you. One mistake I would say Democrats are making is not running ads against this.
Yeah, you can.
They're going to give them a couple of days before they do that.
Yeah,
but they start getting them swing states and running ads on him being irresponsible.
I'm thinking they do not want to chance, put out their bad juju. They're probably being a little bit suspicious right now. Like they don't want to feed the flames of being what's the political term that I'm looking for? There's a political term where you just basically you're out of turn. You're playing, like wag the dog. They don't want to do things to kind of ruin whatever fortune they're getting by whatever this is turning out to be, because this is the thing that they all been talking about, how reckless he is, how he hasn't taken this serious, how he has, so they don't really have to pile on basically.
If he doesn't go to the hospital, we don't have a conversation right now.
Right.
If he doesn't get flown to the hospital, like we said, you understand, all about politics propaganda. If he stays in the White House and they could treat him there, he could spend this, and it's good money. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if it's 14 days or 2 days.
That's why him
being sent to that hospital is devastating to his campaign, in my opinion.
It is. Yeah, that's something you can tell he didn't want to go. You could tell. You can look at the man. He did not want to go. That's why he wanted to show his face to try to. You could tell they did that taping. They did that taping about 2 or 3 times. You could tell they did that about 2 or 3 times. And you already said they didn't even want people to see him walk out because he probably wasn't going to be able to walk out properly. That's a sign that he's not filling up the par.
I gotta be honest with you. When they show an edited clip of him walking out and the clip of walking in the White House, I thought it was fake. I said, this is not real time data. But they did show him getting off the helicopter at Walter Reed. I'm just thinking, like, am I saying? And again, that's my conspiracy thing coming up. But I'm just like, is this real video? Are we really seeing him? Or this old video of him going to Walter Reed? Is this old video of him walking out? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because they didn't show it. They literally said we have an edited clip they put out of him walking out of the White House.
Just real quick, people talk about his respiratory issues already.
Right. Yeah.
He has respiratory problems. That's why he looks down at his feet when he's walking. He has issues keeping his balance sometimes. So he like I say, he wants to portray being tough, being strong, being the strong. He's from the old school of believing never show your weaknesses ever. Like that 48 laws of power, that part of never let them see you sweat, always basically project strength even when you don't have it. He's the perfect example of that. But the problem with that is, even in times where you need to lean on somebody for counsel, he has the inability to do it because he thinks that somebody's always looking to take advantage of it, like he is. It's almost like it's a Sith Lord. It's the Sith Lord.
I would say. Well, let me say this. I will say, back in April, I think, or May, when he said, "I am the COVID president, and we want to war against COVID. We're going to go to war against this virus." I thought that was masterful. I said, this will be your war, and you don't have to worry about the death count. You just have to project strength. You have to take it seriously, regardless, fake, real, whatever.
Yeah,
take it seriously, and just be on top of it. This dude, after 30 days, like, oh yeah, the virus is gone. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to Dr. Fauci them no more. It's nonsense, and we're fine. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So that's a different conversation, of course. But I was just stunned by that, because he could have wrote the COVID virus into the White House. Period. He could have rode it right into the White House. Because no different than George Bush talking about mission accomplished and all that other nonsense.
Absolutely.
Because he was at war, he was able to ride that thing to a second term. It doesn't matter how much, but people hated him.
Victory defeated him. Victory defeated him, man. It's the old adage, man. You know, you being too gangster, man. And with that, man, we're gonna play some Backyard, man. We're gonna end this on Backyard. You can close it out, man. Maybe after playing like 4 minutes of it, man, we're gonna give them a little Backyard called Keeping It Gangster. This is old school DC, you know what I mean? So we want to go ahead and close this thing on out, man, and let things rock out the way it is. We wanted to share like some of our little insider view on what's going on, man. Hopefully we didn't cause any more confusion, man. And if anything happens, there's a major consequence when it comes down to this. If something happens, then we'll jump back on and give you guys a little bit more intel of stuff that we may know and not know, and kind of help fill in the blanks for you guys. But thanks for coming through and joining us for the short time that we was online, man. Maybe next time we'll have a discussion. Yeah, anything else you wanted to rock out with, man?
Nope. Hit us up on Twitter at CodeBreakers191. We hopefully post some stuff with the time frame. And also you can email us at codebreakers1999@gmail if you have any show ideas, questions, comments, etc.
All right, so just close this thing out, man. Getting close to the end. Maybe all like right. At 5 minutes, you can close it out. All right, man.
The Code Breakers is Paradox.
And this is D. Until next time, peace, man. Enjoy the actual go, keep it gangster. Backyard Band, Big G and the crew.
Y'all keep it gangsta. Huh? Hey. 18. What am I tell ya? What am I tell ya? 36 in Minnesota, man. It's Trinity. 25. And like this, hey. I took a rub stair. Took a rub stair. Downstairs. Took a rub stair. Downstairs. Pussy out of there. Took a rub stair. Took a rub stair. Took a rub stair. Downstairs. Pussy out of there. Took a rub stair. To the rub stair, downstairs. To the rub stair, downstairs. Get out of there. To the rub stair, to the rub stair, to the rub stair. Hey, wait, go my way. That's how she recognize her cheek. Cause she wanna roll with the BYB. Tell me that she love everything that we do. I'm a nigga. Got a bad bitch that says she recognize her cheek. Says she wanna roll with the BYB. Tell me that she love everything that we do. Got a bad bitch that says she recognize her cheek. Says she wanna roll with the BYB. Tell me that she love everything that we do. Got a bad bitch that says she recognize her cheek. Says she wanna roll with the BYB. Tell me that she love everything that we do. The black. Oh, sing for the booyah. Sing for the booyah. I'm gonna switch that simply that. Ladies Say what? Southwest, my nigga. Switch that, switch that, switch. South, switch that, switch. Hey, wait, come on, man. It's in it, this is the Minnesota, man. Easy style. Uzi. Hey, Lord, shoot. Make it do what it do. Hey, shoot. Make it do what it do. First the base. Like this, nigga. West side, hey. I say behind that black. Say behind that black. Oh. Say behind that black. Louis for the behind that black. Oh. Behind that black. Proud of where you're from. Old school nigga. The C12. Nigga with C12. Nigga with C12. The C12. Nigga with C12.